Tame Your Talent in the house. Brad J., your host of Tame Your Talent, broadcasting to podcasting, online announcer training. That's what it's all about. Today, what are we going to talk about? Man, let's, how about know your event? That's a good one, right? You just get hired to do this big event. Do you know the event? Have you ever announced it? Well, a person said to me a long time ago, he said, Brad, it seems like you can announce any event that you're offered. And I feel like, yeah, I can. As long as I know the rules of the event, how the event takes place, and I've done my homework and I have prepared material, I feel like I can do any event. I've announced tennis before. I don't play tennis. I don't know anything about tennis really, but I did the work to know how to do tennis, so I've announced tennis before. So I've announced different things that is out of my comfort level, but I like the challenge, so that's what it's all about. So let's talk about knowing your event. Talk about know the contest format. I don't even care if it's an eating contest or if it's a dance contest. You know, in the NBA, working for the Los Angeles Clippers for the 7 years, I would hold eating contests, I would hold dance contests, shooting contests with the basketball. Know the format. That's the one thing you got to know. And in a situation like that, if you're an announcer working for professional sports, you might only have 2 minutes to be able to get that competition done. That means pre-hype the competition, get that thing going, and then do the whole entire event. So you got to know the format, all right? And when I talk about knowing the format, okay, let's just say it's a bike contest, a mountain bike contest, all right, where these people go around in a track, okay, and they have to race each other. Know how many runs they get. Do they do 2 runs? Yeah, they get 2 runs. Is there a time limit? Know that kind of stuff. Also, know the show flow. Bro, you got to know the show flow. If you don't know the show flow, that's going to make things kind of crazy for you, okay? Now, the breaks. Know when you have breaks, okay? Know when you're going to go live, all right? Communicate all this stuff. Because there's events that I do where I'll get on there and I'll fill the mic like at a snowboarding event for 30 minutes talking to the crowd about what they're going to see today, but we're not live on the World Wide Web for 30 minutes after that. So you could build everything up and then you go live on the web. So you have to know when you go live if you're doing a webcast, if you're doing a podcast, whatever the question may be, when are you going live? When are the breaks? You need to know the show flow. Know the judging criteria. Know if it's something, the situation where like in snowboarding, they'll get 2 runs. Sometimes they get 3 runs. In skateboarding, sometimes they get 3 runs. I've seen 5 runs. They have different formats. You need to know how many runs they get to take. Know your event. Is this a prelim? Is this a semifinal? Is this a final? You need to know that. All that stuff. Know your event. So know the contest format, know the show flow, know the judging criteria, know your event. Now, it brings me to a story. See how this is all tying in? A little story time here. All right, so I've been doing X Games I've done over 30 X Games, international and in the US as well. And one of the stories that I remember, I think it was right the year before I started working at X Games, there was an announcer that shall remain nameless, and I'm sure he would like it to be that way too as well. He was asked to go down and interview the guy after his run, all right? It was a snowboarder. He finished his run, so this announcer was sent down there to go interview him. So the announcer makes his way down to go do the interview. He starts talking to the athlete back and forth, question, answer, back and forth. The interview's going great. The interview's actually going awesome, and it's super good. But remember, it's the last thing you do that people remember, all right? So here's where the clincher is. Here's what he did. Right at the very last thing, before he wants to wish this athlete the best, he said to him, "Good luck on your second run." Athlete responds back to him, "That was my second run." For all to hear on the webcast, live to the house, thousands of people heard that mistake. So no matter how good the interview was, you ruined it at the end by not knowing the format, not knowing what's going on. So that's what I mean. Know your contest format. Know your show flow. Know the judging criteria. For Pete's sake, please know if there's another run coming up. You need to know that. And know your event. That's the most important when it comes down to knowing your event. I'm Brad J. That's Tame Your Talent. Broadcasting to podcasting. I'm your guy.